Oh, America, hello. Am I right that you're all a tingle today? Because some audiences get all the fun. Tonight, we're talking about abortion. It doesn't get any more fun than that. This is a topic that nobody on television ever wants to address. This is something that is going to be remembered one way or another as the slavery or slave debate of our time. Some point in the future, 100 years ago, people are either going to say, how did they not finance all abortions for everybody all the time? Or, how did they miss that they were killing children? One of the two. And one side or the other is going to be blamed by future generations. You know, the problem with the founders was we look at them with today's eyes on slavery. Slavery just was when our founders were growing up. It was a new idea to stop slavery. Abortion, however, is a relatively new idea. And it is, not surprisingly, a progressive idea. Tonight, you're going to learn stuff about the progressive history that will shock you. But I want to start here. I want to reframe this a little bit. If I told you that there were people in Afghanistan, under the noses of our troops, that were assisting mullahs, that were keeping underage girls in a slave trade, and our troops were not reporting it, and they were watching it go on. They were, in fact, assisting or advising the pimps. Would you say those troops need to come home and be court-martialed? Those troops should not be serving us? I think the answer would be yes. If I told you that our dollars in Egypt were being used to keep young girls in even if they were living in luxury, but they were being kept so men could come and rape them, and our money was going to give them medical support, to make sure that they're healthy, make sure that they didn't have children, they got abortions from the rapes every night. If I told you that we had video of people, our own people, assisting them, would you say that would be a front page story? It's not a front page story because it's happening here in America. And it's happening at Planned Parenthood. And nobody wants to think about it. That's why I think in time, abortion will be recognized as the horror that it is, because we haven't changed. Technology has changed. If you could see, I've always thought ever since I was a little kid, if you could have a room, a womb with a window in it, a window womb, you would never abort a baby, because you would recognize that it was a baby, and you'd be amazed at the features and everything that was there. Well, there's no window there, but there now is technology that can show you the child. We can now keep a child alive outside the womb earlier. Well, what has changed? Only technology and us. The fact of the child hasn't changed. But people don't want to look at the facts or the pictures, and they don't want to think about it. And that's why there's not one video or two videos or 5 videos or 10 videos. There are dozens of videos showing horrible things happening at Planned Parenthood, where a pimp will come in and will say, hey, I've got all these underage girls and I got to get them abortions. Can you help? And they say yes. Videos of underage girls or people posing as 13-year-old girls going into Planned Parenthood and saying, I got a 31-year-old boyfriend, 31, I'm 13, he's 31, and I'm pregnant. Can you help me out? Yeah, of course we can. Shh, just keep it between us. These videos have been out now for 4 years, and it hasn't gotten much attention. Tonight, I will introduce you to these videos, and I think to some of the bravest people I've ever met. I'm a dad of 3 daughters. If you're a mom or dad of a daughter, if your daughter ran away from home, I don't care what the deal is, ran away from home at 14, she runs away, not realizing how bad the world really is, and before she knows it, she's on the streets here in New York or Los Angeles or even your own hometown. And to survive, she has to have sex with men. She has a pimp to protect her. If she doesn't, she could get killed. Pimp's not going to. Pimp wants his money. Pimp's going to make sure she's there, telling her she's not worth anymore, or sometimes getting her hooked on drugs, so she has to stay. Well, I don't know about you, but I hope to God that somebody in a medical or a clinic sees her and she's pregnant. I hope to God they don't just abort the child and fix her up so she can go out and have more sex and help the pimp. I hope to God that somebody saves her life and says, "What has happened to you?" I have to tell you, I was walking down the street in New York one day, and this is about 2 years ago, and I saw this girl. She must have been 13, 14, 15 years old. I don't know. And she was walking down the street, and she just looked dead inside. It was just outside of Times Square. Now, I'm not going to walk up to her and go, "Hey, are you a hooker?" I don't think that would work out well for me. But I would bet my life that she was. And I saw my daughters and thought, how bad does her life have to be to even put her in that position? And what is it like now? We have cloaked Planned Parenthood in happiness, in compassion. That's going to change tonight, because I believe one thing is true. A bad tree cannot bear good fruit, period. You need to know the roots of this tree. You need to know the roots of Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger. Watch.
Thanks to all of you at Planned Parenthood for all the work that you are doing. I was proud to get Planned Parenthood's endorsement yesterday.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born. That to me is the greatest sin.
Planned Parenthood received over $363 million in taxpayer dollars. I believe the time has come for that to end. And in 2008 alone, they performed 324,008 abortions.
What he's got against the Planned Parenthood people, I've yet to discover. They've done I thought, a pretty good job.
you're going to see us fight to end taxpayer funding of abortion once and for all.
What they want to do is essentially make abortion unavailable.